Hi all, it's PJ and welcome to Bernina Quick Tips. This tip is on setting up the design for the mini bag. Go into the embroidery side. I have the designs on my flash drive here. Depending on your hoop sizes is going to determine which designs you're going to be able to do. If you have the maxi or the jumbo hoop, you will be able to do up to the D body. The E body is just a little bit too large, but the D body will fit. Let's start with that one. So actually, I'm going to choose my maxi hoop now, and I'm going to tell it that I want my D body. So here's my D body. And you can see you've got this red line around here, which is telling you that part of this design is not going to fit in that hoop. But guess what? Because of the ovalness of the Bernina hoops, the sides up here are more square. So in this instance, if we just go in and move this up, it will end up fitting. You will have to do multiple hoopings to do this project, but you will be able to get this size into either the maxi or the jumbo hoop. I think most of you have the maxi hoop. So as you can see, as I'm just sneaking this up here, if I get this all the way up to the top, it will just fit in. Boom, right there. You could take it even a little bit farther and give yourself a little bit more leeway. I don't think that the handle will fit below here. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it won't. So you are going to end up having to do the bottom and the handle separately. So just know that. But it will fit, that D size will fit in your maxi hoop. In addition, I'm just going to add this, even though it's going to seem kind of silly, but because you wouldn't stitch these on top of each other. I think that the 18 handle will not fit, as you can see here, because even if you rotate that, it's still not going to fit. But the 15 handle will fit if you rotate that. You can see you can just sneak that in there. Again, that would have to be stitched on a separate hoop, but you could put that and the bottom all in a second hoop. So you could do this in 2 hoops. And this is the longer of the 2 handles, and this is actually the size that goes with that bag. Let's just get rid of all of that. Sticking with the maxi hoop, let's combine a bunch of designs together. So let's say that you want to do the smallest bag, which is, this is the A body. So here's my A body, and then I'm going to add the bottom, and I'm going to add the handle. So there's all 3 of my parts. Since I still have that handle selected, I'm going to rotate that, and then I'm going to just move this down. And then I'm going to select this, and I can just move this over to the side, and you can see that that's still going to fit within that size hoop. If I select everything, I can then go into my move function and tell it to center that. I don't know if this will fit within the oval, but we can find out. So if I choose the oval, yep, it's not going to quite fit. But you could get, if I remove this, if I take the handle out, whoops, if I just take the handle out and then center these, so you could get, oh sorry, that was the bottom that I removed, but you could get the body and the handle, the short handle, in your oval hoop, and then you would have to do a second hooping for your side. Or if you happen to have the larger hoop, that all fit in the maxi. So once again, if we do the maxi and we bring our bottom back, you can just move this over here to the side a little bit, and then select all of them, the bottom layer, and then center that. And if once this is all selected, you can look down here, and this is the size of your entire design. So that is going to give you an indication of the size of material that you're going to need if all of those pieces are together. Again, I would add about half to 3/8 to a half of an inch to this measurement on the height and the width so that you have something to catch in the basting stitch. And then once you go into your sewing here, you can add your basting stitch here, and then that will catch your fabric as it's going around. If you're going to add personalization, I would go ahead and set up my entire design, and then again, you can just go back into your add. And in this case, I'm going to go to the machine, and here I'm just going to add some letters. And I'm just going to say okay to this. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Here's my letters. I want to size my letters down. So I'm going to go to my size function. And I want them to be symmetrical. So I am just going to reduce this. On your actual machine, you'll be able to just twirl those knobs. It will take just a second to do that. Here, it's obviously taking longer because I'm having to use the pluses and minuses. I'm going to rotate that. And because this is the layer that I have selected, I can just drag this, whoops, if I go to the correct function, I can just drag this into place. And I can see I may want to just size that a tad bit more. This little rectangle is your placement for your lettering. If you're going to do designs, you really need to stay below this line, but you could fill all of this space. Just note that you're going to have a snap or a button or something here as well. So you might want to move around that. But in this case, that's exactly where I want that. The next thing that we can do is we can go in to our reorder function here. And this is the layer that I have selected. I actually want this to stitch first because I want it to stitch only on my top material. So I'm going to move that down so that's the very first thing that stitches. Then I'm going to go into my layer number 2, which is the body. Now that I've got that placement, I no longer need the rectangle. You can simply just skip that when it comes up, or you can actually remove it. If I go in here to my group and ungroup function, I can ungroup this, which is the minus, and now you can see that is broken up into all of its component pieces. With the 2 selected, I can go back and I can simply just delete that and it will show up here. Also, if you were going to do the long handle, you could go into layer number 4, which is the little marks for the short handle. If you're not going to use the short handle, you could delete those as well. In this case, I am using the short handle, so I'm not going to delete those. If you want to regroup that section, you could simply go back in here. This will combine the layer that's chosen and the one above it to there. There isn't a lot of need to actually regroup this because you're going to end up just stitching through everything after you stitch this. From here, go into the stitching. Choose your basting border, and again, you'll stitch your basting border on your stabilizer, place your top fabric. Then you're going to stitch the basting border again to tack down the top fabric, and then you'll stitch your personalization. Then you're going to go on and stitch the entire rest of the design. And if you go down here, this function should turn everything into the same color. Even though these are showing different colors, everything is in fact the same color, and it will just go from one color to the next. You won't have to stop and change the thread. So it will just stitch straight through. That's it for the design setup for the mini bag. If you'd like to follow along, this project is available for purchase at the Montevilla Sewing Center's Teachable site. The project includes the full video, written instructions, design files, and more. You can purchase the projects by the month or join the club and save. To join the club, contact the main store. If you'd like to view the video preview for this project, go to my YouTube channel, A PJ Project, go to the playlist and choose the Machine Embroidery Club, and then choose the project.